Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
And my name is Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Today is Sunday, the 24th of November, as we are recording this. Happy Thanksgiving, almost everybody. This is gonna be the last one before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Woo 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 woo. You know what I mean? Woo woo. Hell yeah. How's everybody doing?
You asking everybody, or you asking me?
You are included in everybody, yes, but
Yeah, but the way you asked it, I was like, he doesn't know that I'm the only one here, right?
do you want me to not include you in everybody?
I don't know. I feel like if I'm the only one here, you could just call me by my name.
No. What's your name again?
Highly successful,
No, that
incredibly
can't.
influential,
No, that's me. I'm incredibly influential.
highly influential, incredibly successful.
I don't know anyone named highly influential. That would be a stupid name for a podcast. That would be really that would be a terrible name for a podcast. No one should name their podcast highly influential. That would
Let me,
suck and be terrible.
yeah, man. Like, let me tell you, like, if I ever become like a begrudging employee and want to create like a what's it called? A counter podcast. I know what's the name of
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh. About I mean, you yourself did bring up, ex-employees, am I right? That's a reference to a video that hasn't even been made yet. Oh my god. All right. Let me just tell you about the last fucking few days that I've had, right? Let me just fucking tell you. It's been it's been a few. All right. So, Thursday was the last day of classes, Um got all my shit done super early. I had a presentation, nailed it. Got like all my homework done like super early, super quick. It was awesome. And then I have nothing to do until December. So I was like, all right, hell yeah. So then on Friday morning, I woke up and I was like, I have no idea what to do with my fucking life. I have no fucking idea. So I did barely anything. I did literally fuck all because I just didn't know what to do. I had so many options and I just didn't want to do any of them. I couldn't choose. And then on Saturday, I was gonna be super productive. I was gonna go to the football game. I was gonna do some work on videos. I was gonna do some editing. Um, and then as soon as I woke up, my dog puked on my sheets. So I pulled the fitted sheet off from it was still on one corner and I was on the other corner. So I pulled it off and I pulled muscles in my abdomen and it was really 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 bad. So I was basically just sitting around all day yesterday um fucking in so much pain. So much pain. It was awful. Um I normally don't let my roommate drive my car, but it was so bad and I couldn't go myself. I asked him to go get me ibuprofen from Walgreens and I let him take my car. Uh and yeah, and I feel a lot better now, but like I was literally like curled up in a ball for most of yesterday. It was not fun. And but then today, I got up, I took my ibuprofen. I was feeling pretty good. And then, you know what? I was like, I'm going to hunker down. I'm going to edit this video. So, me and Danny and Kat and Matt from atop the table, we did a little thing, right? We did a little thing as promo for our upcoming new series. And I had started editing like ever so slightly, and it was really daunting because it was like 2 hours long and it was just like I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do with all this. But then I was just like, fuck it. I'll start at the beginning. I'm gonna hunker down. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do it. And that's exactly what I did today. I spent about 4 hours working on it, pretty much nonstop, and it was really productive. I'm actually really proud of myself. I've never really edited like a full video before, but this here's it's like an hour and a half long. Um, and I worked pretty hard on it. And Danny was there. You know, would you say it was pretty funny? It was a pretty good video. Um, or at least the
Mhm.
footage was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the edit's gonna be, but yeah, there's lots of funny moments, you know.
Yeah, there was. I don't. I didn't really, do too much on the whole editing side. I mostly just let the funny moments play. Um, but I think I enhanced it in some instances. Um, there was one instance where I think the editing actually made the joke work pretty well, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. And you guys can see it. Um, I don't think it'll be out for a couple weeks. It'll because we want to drop it the night before we begin our new series, and that's not going to be for a few more weeks. But yeah, just know we're working on that, and we're really excited about it. And yeah, um, but yeah, I got it done. It was pretty solid, and yeah, I don't know what else to say there. I'm just impressed with myself that I managed to do something that I've been paying other people to do for me, and it just I worked really hard on it, and I feel nothing feels as good as like hunkering down and doing something that you didn't think you could do, you know, or that you weren't really like comfortable with doing. You know what I mean? It felt pretty awesome. So I'm happy with it. I think the quality is really good, and the I think it just shows that I can do hard things, right? You're talking to somebody. I've climbed mountains before, right? I've climbed 3 mountains in my lifetime. I've I've done like so many of these hard things, right? But it always surprises me when I can hunker down and do something that I'm not comfortable with, and I'm just like surprised that I get these results. But at the end of the day, hey, I did it, and that's pat on the back for me. How has your beginning of Thanksgiving break been?
Well, as you know from our little scheduling group chat, I did have a little bit of a busy week. A lot of things were happening at school, kind of like uh Thanksgiving, kind of Christmas themed because it's like right before finals, and I know that they were kind of trying to get all the festivities early because I know that if they did it later on, there would be a lot of scheduling conflicts with people's finals and with studying, and they were like, let's just celebrate a little early, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on Tuesday we had a social for one of my orgs. It was like a little game night. We all hung out for a couple hours, brought some board games. I met a couple new people. That was a little fun thing. Um, on Thursday we had a general body meeting for one of my orgs, and after the general body meeting, we had like gingerbread house building. We had a movie. We had Hakoku. Again, I met some people. I talked to some people I don't really see as often, right? Because a lot of people don't uh they're a little harder to get in contact with, so like the meetings are right, I see them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that meeting they told me that they were still accepting like applicants to do to, to volunteer for this outreach event they had going on Friday. I thought I had missed the deadline, but because they told me that, I ended up going Friday morning to go volunteer at the school. They brought a whole bunch of like elementary kids um, to the campus, and we all did like engineering things, kind of like to like promote the future of like engineers and all that. And it was real fun. It was like their little school field trip to this, for a couple hours there. So
That's
that was really
cute.
fun. I like volunteered at like my little section, and we were there for like 3 or 4 hours. We gave out prizes, and then afterwards we all went to go eat somewhere. It was a really fun little activity. Uh, and then on Friday evening, Friday night, after all that had happened, me, my brother, Monica, we all went to go watch Wicked, which
Mm-hmm.
we'd been looking forward to for a while. It was supposed to be a bigger group, but there was some drama that happened in the background, so it ended up just being us three.
That
And
happens.
And then yesterday, Monica had a friendsgiving that she invited me to, so I met with a couple of Monica's coworkers. I already knew one or two of them just from when they came to like parties and stuff for Monica.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like fun, like a little early Thanksgiving thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the actual Thanksgiving break, I believe the way that we're going to do it is we're gonna. I got invited to go over to Monica's Thanksgiving as well as our Thanksgiving, so I have two more little Thanksgivings to go to, which should be pretty fun. But yeah, it's been a pretty busy week, but it's been pretty fun. Lots of meeting people. Oh, also Wednesday night, I did hang out with some friends. We usually will go to like the bar on Wednesday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were celebrating something that happened with their org because they're all like part of the same org, right? And I usually kind of meet them after their little meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up drinking a little bit, so once they all left, I didn't really feel like I wanted to drive yet, so I was kind of just sitting by myself for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Had some food, chilled, and I met like one or two people, just like socializing. I don't usually like talk to random people at bars, but it was a fun little time.
I mean, alcohol is a pretty good social lubricant.
Yeah,
Definitely, you know.
yeah, that definitely helps. I definitely was like, you know what? Who cares, right? I feel like whenever I'm sober, I'll kind of overthink it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, that definitely happens. There's a lot of uh overthinking. I get in that uh mindset too, and it's you really just gotta like roll with it. You gotta like get out of your own head, and that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. Is we all live in our own little brain, and it's so hard to like bust out of it and just be like, no, you know, we're like it's a bar. People are here to like socialize and shit. It's fine. It's okay if I talk to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
exactly. And like it's interesting, right? Because at that bar, like that night that I went there, uh, we usually go on Wednesdays, but this Wednesday it was like packed, like to the brim, right? We had to sit outside,
ours was like that too.
and we didn't know why, right? So like after my friends had left, I kind of asked the girl. That's kind of how I started the conversation. I was like, "Do you know what's going on?" Because like I assumed that she was part of like the group. She kind of saying like she knew the people, right?
Hmm.
And it ended up being like a sorority event they had going on, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, that makes sense. There's been a lot of uh like for us there was a lot of people going out this week because everybody's going home. Everybody, like you know what I mean. Like, we're a small college town, so a lot of people are like only here when school is on, and so they're not gonna stay the whole time. Like they're especially gonna leave like Thursday night or Friday afternoon. Those are the two big times. So like the last day to go out is like Wednesday night, and my roommate was going through some stuff. He's had a something happen in his family, so he wanted to go out and take his mind off it. I usually don't go out on Wednesdays, but you know what? Fuck it. He's having a bad time. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be there with him. And we had a great time. I got to I got to hear that some of my friends have been listening to the podcast, and that was pretty cool. Hi Joseph, hi Ellie, thank you for listening. But yeah, that was super cool. That was super cool. I was I always hear or I always like to hear when people are like, hey, we listen to the podcast. It's really fun, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like nothing makes me feel better than that. That just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. You know what I mean? Do you get anyone who listens to the podcast around you?
Um, like a lot of the people that follow me on Instagram, like that would see the little posts about the podcasts. I don't talk to as many of them as before because a lot of them are like high school people. I am meeting more people at college now, but so far nobody that I know has ever told me that they listen to it. Uh, Maybe one day, because I do post about it every now and then,
Every
and
week.
I get likes on it, so people are seeing it obviously. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know,
I don't
we'll
know.
have to
It's
see.
it 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 takes a little bit, but eventually people are people have been listening to it, and people will continue to listen to it, and we'll keep gaining uh notoriety, and eventually we'll be bigger than Joe Rogan, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty hype. So while you're listening to us now, right? But eventually you're gonna be able to say, yeah, I listened to them when they were really small, comparatively, and now look at them. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be really cool. So get excited because you're witnessing something special here. You're getting to enjoy a privilege of discovering something, and you get to lecture all your friends about, like, yeah, I was actually listening to them back when they were on episode 132, and now they're on episode 1032, and like a million people watch every single episode. And it's gonna be super hype, and you can scold them about, like, how they're fake fans and all. You can be insufferable, and I fully endorse that. I hope that you guys are absolutely chastising your friends for just getting into us recently. You know what I mean? Do that, please do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I love doing this show. I love doing the show, and I love the reward of, like, when people reach out and they're like, "Hey, you had a great episode," or like, or when they reach out and they're like, "Oh, tell me what this is about," and I get to, like, tell them, and they're like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'll go listen." That's the fucking best feeling in the world. That's what I do this for. You know, I like getting paid. Don't get me wrong, but the satisfaction of, like, getting people to, like, listen is really, really, really what I do it for. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you do it for? What do you like doing about this? What do you like about doing this podcast?
I feel like we have fun on here. I feel like we have like a lot of good moments. I feel like people would probably enjoy some of the moments that we have. I feel like we also have like two very unique perspectives, which makes it very interesting. I feel like we go through a lot of like topics on this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and they can kind of see the two different perspectives, kind of fight it out a little bit.
That is
Sometimes
true.
we
That is
agree,
true.
sometimes we don't, and I feel like it kind of makes it more interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. I think that's definitely some of the best parts, has been, like, when we go and we just talk about random shit, and we fucking argue and yell at each other. It's hilarious. I think that's some of the best parts. But I don't know. I love this. I would, if I could do this full time, I would, and maybe someday I will be able to. With your support, hey, Patreon. We have a Patreon. You can support us. You know, do that. Head on over there. If you want us to do this full time, we would. I'm sure we would love to. I would love to. I don't know. What are you thinking, Danny? Would you uh like to do this forever?
Yeah, I feel like this is a nice little weekly check-in, and I'm sure that there's some other things we can kind of like do as well, like spin-offs of this. I know you have your interview thing. I know we both have our Twitch things, but that I need to kind of work on a little bit more, that we can kind of maybe tie better into to this. There's lots of different options if this was to become like a full-time thing. Right now, though, I feel like definitely my focus is just get my education, work on a career. But hey, if this ever pops off one day, I wouldn't mind, doing a little transition.
Yeah, I if this was my career, I would certainly be uh happy with that. I think that would be awesome. I it's such an easy job. It's so easy. And I love the just like the ease of use. It's like no pressure. It's uh it's a break from doing like the hard shit that I have to do throughout the week. I'm a full-time student. My semester this semester it's not terrible, but I had a pretty rough class this semester, and next semester is going to be even worse, you know. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm uh I'm glad I have this to fall back on it and just decompress and you know talk to people and really just enjoy myself for an hour and 10 minutes and or that doesn't even get into the movie commentaries. Movie commentaries I think are like the favorite thing that we do. I love the movie commentaries or the guest episodes. Oh my god. Um the guest episodes. Having Satchel on, that one of the all-time great things, same with Scott, rest in peace. Um I loved those. Even the ones with Jennifer, uh those were really fun too. I love the guest episodes so much. They're certainly some of the highlights. I would say listening to those is definitely required listening because it's so good. They're so good. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what has been your favorite episode so far that you can remember.
I don't remember nearly as much as you probably do, but in recent, I would say my favorite was the Ryan Gosling one. I'm trying to think back a little farther though.
There's been a few Ryan Gosling ones because
Well,
I'm
I'm
literally
talking.
him.
Well, yeah, the original Ryan Gosling one. The
Yeah, so episode 1. Yeah, you know.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, but there's some episodes where I really get into it. I feel like we're really having a good time. I'm really making some good jokes. We're like dying laughing.
Oh man.
Uh,
I will admit sometimes we don't hit that step every time, but like
well, we gotta
when we
we
do.
gotta we have like sometimes we have serious conversations. Sometimes we have like very very unserious conversations.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we hit a good mix. I feel it depends on your preference, but if you found us and this is your mix, hey, we're glad you're here. You're we value you, we appreciate you, and we're glad you choose to spend your time with us. We're I mean, this is kind of, I'm thankful for that. I'm really thankful for having sort of this thing that I have that I can put out there and that I can make friends. I can have like audience members, like talk to us and be like, "Hey, this is something I enjoy." And it's I'm making people happy and I'm thankful for that. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like if people can like watch this and they like can laugh with us and we can have a good time, that's what it's really all about. I feel like I hope that people, are able to enjoy it when they listen. There's a lot there's really something for everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, I I mean I would hope so at least. If there's got to be some kind of like appeal for just about everybody. You would think that there's something to enjoy for everybody, but what do I know? Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like if you listen to all the episodes we've ever made and you don't enjoy a single minute of it, you know, I'll give you $100. I will give $100 to everyone who listens to every single minute of every single episode we've ever done up to now and does not enjoy a single minute of it. I will personally give you $100 for your time. So that's that challenge out there for anybody. Um, yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think that's just how I feel. I it really boggles the mind to think that we've put out like 132 episodes. That's got to add up to like 150, almost 200 hours, which is just insane to me. Like, think about that. Think about that. With some of the like really long episodes we've done, we've got to have like over 200 hours of this shit. It's like 3 weeks, you know? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Or more like 2 weeks, but still, like, come on. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that absolutely nuts? And think about how long we've been doing this. 2.5 years. We're closer to 3 years than 2 years, which again is boggles the mind. How long we've been here? We've been doing this. We've been, at this, and still going strong. I think we're hitting our stride. I think we're only getting better. So if you're here, you've caught us at our rise. You haven't even gotten to our peak yet. So when we do get to our peak, you can be like, yeah, I was there. I supported them when they were going through it, when they were building up that audience. I was one of the day one fans. You know what I mean? So
Right.
pat yourself on the back for that, for discovering us. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people have yet, but you are one of the lucky few. But yeah, yeah, I think that's what I'm thankful for. What about you?
I'm thankful for a lot. Just obviously my great friends, here, as well as like the other podcasts that we do.
Hmm.
And this year's been like really good, especially like this semester. It started out rough. I'll give it that, but
Yeah.
it's this semester and like meeting all these people and like hanging out with my family. Dylan and Monica especially, since they're the ones I hang out with almost every week. It's just been really good second half of the year here. I'm hoping it can end really well. I know I got some stuff planned for December here. I'm not sure what your plans are at the end of the year, but I think I'm just thankful for how everything's kind of going a little bit better now.
Yeah, definitely. It's I will say I had a bit more issues at the beginning of the semester. Uh it was at the beginning, and then here towards the end. Last week was kind of rough. Last week was definitely. I'm glad I don't have like a specific dead week, but like my dead week was kind of split up between the week before this one and the week after this one. Uh I had like a lot of stuff due last week. This week leading up to Thursday and Friday was not super bad. Um I had like the presentation to do. I had like my normal workload basically plus presentation, and uh yeah, that was like the really only additional thing. But last week, I had like a huge rough draft I had to do, and then I had to do a peer review on somebody else's rough draft, and that was a lot. And plus, I had a 10-minute presentation that I had to do on alien hand syndrome, which was just it was a lot. It was a lot, and I'm glad that it's cooled down just a little bit because if it hadn't, I would be struggling. Definitely struggling. So, we're here and we've made it mostly through the semester. I think we both get out around the same time. Second week of December is finals week for me. I don't know if it is for you.
Well, uh, at University of Houston, like the finals kind of happened a little earlier
Mm-hmm.
than at Lone Star. And this particular class that I have actually is even earlier than the rest of U of H, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my final is tomorrow.
Oh shit.
hmm for that class. And then I have no more of that class for the entire semester, which is like very early, very very early.
That's pretty good. I like that. That there's pros and cons of that, but I see the pros there. I'm happy for you. I all my finals are gonna be the second week of December. Um, yeah. So next week is gonna be dead week. We're gonna be working pretty hard, but we've got a little bit of stuff to do, and then we're done. And 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 then it'll just be finals, and those aren't going to be too bad. I'm a little worried about one of them. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried about one of them. But honestly, this week it's just like I'm just trying to survive, and this semester I'm kind of just trying to make it through. Like last semester I was more focused on like grades and stuff, but this semester I'm just like if I can make it through and pass everything, I'm fine.
You see, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like this one class that I have, that's the finals tomorrow, is my first class at university, and all the other classes I have are at Lone Star. So my Lone Star GPA doesn't really matter anymore as long as I get the credit, because I already transferred. I don't really need that GPA anymore. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really trying to just make sure my university GPA is really good. So this final is the one that I hope goes really well. But I've been doing really well in the class all semester. It's funny because I talk to a lot of different people in like the engineering space, and I mentioned that I have this class, and I get really mixed kind of reviews about it. Right? Some people say, "Oh, it was real easy for me." Some people say it was real hard for me. Luckily, I can say that it's been real easy for me. Um, I feel bad for the people that are out here dropping and all that, but
Mm.
I don't know. It's just clicking. And for my
Yeah.
other classes, like it's like my English class doesn't really have finals. Like it's just papers.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah. I get what
Yeah,
you
so
mean.
so that one's not really that bad. Chemistry was really strange. They actually have 4 exams and then a final, so it's 5 total. So I have one more exam and a final after Thanksgiving break.
Mm-hmm.
And then my calculus class is just the one final. Chemistry and calculus are probably the two that I'm like trying my best to just make sure I can get through, because if I can finish them out, then I'll be in the clear for those classes at least.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm sort of in the the psychology version of an English class right now, and that's sort of the one that's got like a bunch of stuff going on in it. And it's like we've got this big term paper, and I've got some feedback to work on vis-a-vis like what I have to do for the final draft. But I think as soon as I fix those, I think it's gonna be a really good paper. I can use it in my CV. I can use it as like a writing sample for when I apply to grad school. I'm really proud of it. I think it's what I have down is really good. It's good work. It's a good data analysis. Um, yeah, I would certainly be willing to use it in my CV. I'm proud of it. And then I also this semester I did a study in a research lab, and I've actually submitted that paper to the Midwest Psychological Association. So I'm really excited about that. I hope I'm sure it probably will get in, but I would love to like go up to Chicago and present it and just be there and really like get credit for it because I had like this idea. I came up with like ideas on like how I could test what I'm studying. Obviously the professor who I worked under helped out a lot. The person who co-wrote with me helped out a lot as well. But like yeah, we did. I'm pretty proud of the study, so I feel like this has been a pretty successful semester. I had to drop a class there at the beginning after the first test because man, the guy just I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I hate that I have to take that class again too, but I'm taking it online. And hopefully that'll be better, but man, I could not take that class. in person with that guy. It was such a slog. Oh my goodness. But we dropped the class, and that is kind of an L. But we've just added it on to next semesters. That's a problem for future Kale. Future Kale has to deal with that. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for future Kale.
Yeah, just making it harder for future Kyle out here.
I'm sure future Kale is not going to be happy with present Kale, but you know, past Kale made his decisions, so present Kale has to do what he has to do, and future Kale is going to have to live the consequences. And that's
You
just
know,
how it goes.
I do love this way of thinking, right? Where you're like, like that's not my problem. That's my future self's problem.
It is. It is.
And you get to sit pretty, for a while, but then that day comes where you become future Kale,
I
and then
mean,
you don't.
present Kale does not have to worry about it. That is a true statement. That is not
Hmm.
my uh issue, and I'm sticking to it. You can quote me on that. I will
That's
die on that hill.
that's how I've been for some of these weeks as well. Where I'm like, you know what, that's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I normally I've been better, but this semester was fucking hard, and so I've I just had to take the little victories where I can and take the defeats with them. You know what I mean? And try and turn them around. But sometimes you got to take an L, and then you add another L, and then you put them together in the right way, and then it turns into a W. And I think that's the perfect line to go to the ad break on. So we'll be back. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AmandaRedwine.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. Okay, we're back. Sorry, we we were talking a little bit during the ad break, and I'm like, holy shit, we gotta come back, we gotta finish this because we're really late in the week, considering. But yeah, sorry again for we said we were gonna have a guest this week. Um, it just didn't pan out. Our schedules did not line up, and our guest is sort of predisposed for the week. Or yeah, indisposed for the week, and so we are we're just it's just gonna be the two of us. Fucking suck it up. Cry me a river, build me a bridge, get over it. But probably you know what? Maybe the Christmas episode. How about that? How about that? What do you think about that, Danny?
It's possible. I feel like we have to get together with uh guests, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. But I think if we plan it better in advance, we can get that done and dusted. But yeah, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. Another thing that I'm thankful for here. I'm thankful that it's almost the Christmas season. I'm so ready for that. It's gonna be so great. Oh my god, I love Christmas. I don't know how you feel about it, but it is like my favorite holiday by far. Thanksgiving is like second best, but only because I can start doing Christmas shit. You know, the Macy's parade, and then Santa shows up, and then officially Christmas starts, and you can listen to Christmas music, and you can eat Christmas food and all that. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, I feel like I like Christmas as well. Not only do I get to hang out with my family a little bit more. People get more time off usually.
Hmm.
Uh, the music. It's the one time it's like fall in Texas, so like it kind of gets a little cooler.
Barely.
Not yeah, not a ton. Like you bring your jacket in case, but you don't need it a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Especially not in fucking Houston. Dear God.
Yeah,
Maybe like Austin or Dallas, maybe, but not Houston.
yeah. That Friendsgiving thing that I went to yesterday, we didn't have AC in the car, and then we were just all dying.
Fuck that. Fuck that noise. I could
Yeah,
not live in Texas with no AC. Yeah, like
we should have taken my car, but
you
that's
definitely should
foresight
have
for you.
taken your attire. Yeah, yeah, or hindsight. It's hindsight.
Did I say hi? Yeah, I
You
meant
said
hindsight.
foresight. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I love the peppermint drinks from Starbucks. And they don't serve those all year round.
Yeah, you really do love the peppermint things.
Peppermint's
Th-
like one of my favorite things, and it's like I can't really justify eating peppermint all year round, even though I want to.
that's fair. That's fair. That's true. That's true.
Y- I would if they sold it all year round. They just don't like to sell it until like this time of year.
That's true.
Uh,
That is true.
So this is when I enjoy my Starbucks drinks. I want to probably buy some peppermint bark in the next month or two.
Oh, I do love peppermint bark too. Oh my god.
You
Oh
know,
fuck. You're right.
we're gonna have a it's gonna be real cozy season. And then also I have my trip. So like what's not to like about Christmas time?
That's true. That is true. Yeah, yeah. You are correct there. I can find no flaws in your logic. You've got a pretty fucking sweet Christmas gig going. I don't know if I've got anything really, that's going on Christmas wise, but I'm just going to be glad to have some time to myself and get some work done. Hopefully I can continue with this uh with this how do I put it? The the work that I've been doing, the editing, getting that sort of stuff done. I would like to be able to maybe do an entire like can you beat video by myself. And I feel like that's optimistic, but I'm giving myself a whole month. And some YouTubers do it in a week, right? Some YouTubers do it weekly. So really, what 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 excuse do I have? You know what I mean? But
It's all about like how dedicated you are, I guess. Right? I
it
know that for
is.
for me, there's also a couple like things I want to pick up as well. Being that I'm going back to school and I recently just got access to some of like the 3D modeling programs that I didn't have access to before because they were very expensive. I want to try to get back into that. I know I did a whole bunch in high school. That was pre podcast way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I see all my friends over here, with their 3D printer skills and their CADing skills. And it's been busy with school and stuff, but I'm hoping that I can, in my free time, kind of pick up some of those skills as well. So hopefully, over the break when I don't have classes as much, I'll be having more free time for lots of things I want to do. I know video games, uh, they do have quite a hold on me though. I gotta work on that a little bit.
Or you just fucking stream them and make money off them. Monetize your hobbies, man. Come on, it's great.
Well, yes, but like the whole point is that like I should probably be playing less video games in general. That doesn't really that that doesn't solve the fact that I play too many video games. It just kind of
It rewards you for it, so that way you're
that way I
being
get more
productive.
addicted.
No, that way you're. I'll
I
tell
dig
you.
myself a further hole.
No, I will tell you. It has cured my addiction to video games. I don't play them that often anymore. I only play. Uh, I do my 2 daily Duolingos, my daily Microsoft Jewel for 5 Xbox points. couple rounds of World of Warships, and then I leave a PC game going to get my all my console points, and then sometimes I'll stream, and that's it. I my video game addiction has been completely cured by becoming a streamer. Nothing ruins it like turning your hobbies into a job. Trust me. Oh my god.
Well, I feel like when my Game Pass runs out in February, I'm going to have to really think if I want to renew it again. If I want to take it as a sign to, maybe cool off a little bit more.
I mean, I
We'll
think
see
it's
in February though.
I think you just got to stream more. I think that's the ticket. I think
Well,
that's your
what about my mobile games though? Like my Geometry Dashes and all that.
can't stream those as easily. But I mean, you were telling me, you want to get the streaming up a little bit more. I think that's I think this Christmas, you know,
There's so many things I want to do. It's just that's the problem is that I just have so many things I want to do and I just need to do more of them.
that's true, but I think getting into streaming you would like it. I don't think it would break your I don't know. I don't know. Because you and I used to hang out all the time, and then we made it a job, and now it's hard to schedule with you. So maybe, maybe you becoming a streamer would make you hate uh, video games.
Well, Overwatch has kind of made me hate video games a little bit, but that's why I haven't been playing Overwatch that much. I've been playing other games.
Fuck
But
Overwatch, dude. Fuck that shit.
here the thing is though, I know I'm gonna go back to Overwatch eventually, and then I'm gonna forget how much I hate it, and then I'm gonna be like, oh man, Overwatch, and then like the cycle continues forever and ever until the end of time.
hmm I
That that
yeah,
that's just the cycle that happens when I play Overwatch.
that's me with GTA 5, and I don't think I've played it in like a whole year. I don't think I've played it since I moved into my new house, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that because GTA Online fucking sucks.
You have to you'll be playing this game, you'll be like getting so into it, and then you have to like kind of like back up and remember, wait a minute, games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
what
That's
what am I doing?
GTA Online is a fucking chore now. Like um be- because all your businesses have a cash deduction, you can't just fuck around and have fun anymore. You have to be doing jobs and shit. GTA Online is just another fucking 9 to 5, you
But all
know.
you like, I feel like just give up on the job, just give up on the businesses, just do heists every day.
And the
Heists
heists
and
are
heists and heists and heists. That's all you gotta do. If you want money, just heists.
the heists are fun, but like doing the same heist over and over and over and over again, you know, I did Criminal Mastermind. I feel no need to do any heist in GTA ever again.
Should I re-download GTA and you want to do the Doomsday Mastermind with me?
No, go fuck yourself.
The fifth, what is that, like three or four giant heists in a row?
Oh my god.
And
Oh,
those are the hard heists too.
yes, they are. They are. They,
Have you really done it all if you haven't got Criminal Mastermind on Doomsday?
I'm. Weren't you just saying that you don't want to waste your time on video games? Do you know how long that would take us? Do you know?
Um, yeah, some of those missions are kind of they're not the greatest.
No, they suck ass. Fucking I will tell you, the time when GTA Online started going downhill is when they did the Doomsday heist. That is
it,
that
it
is when it
was
started going
fun one
downhill.
time. I just feel like the difficulty on some of those missions is just crazy. It's
The
wild.
finale is so fucking hard. It is so difficult. It like unfairly so. They have the fucking juggernauts. The fucking
Hmm.
yeah, it's ridiculous. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, thank you. I have no need for that. I have no need for that. I can yeah, I don't know. You missed out. You missed out growing up playing GTA Online when it first started. You know, Beach Bum update, hipster update, original
Like,
heist update.
let me tell you, like, whenever I was in school still, like Destiny, like one, like the original experience was like that was it. You know what I mean? And I feel like me and my brother can talk about it a whole bunch, but unless you were there, you didn't really get it. And it was such a good time. It was such a fun time.
I made, yeah, I had so many like friends in GTA Online, and we would just like have fun, and it was, oh man, it was just fun. You didn't have to, like, you did have to pay rent on your like apartment and shit, which is stupid, but
Well, like again, like the price of those sort of things are so small if you just do one heist like every now and then.
yeah, it's like a couple hundred. It was like a few $100 every 48 minutes. That's not that bad. But like you could kill 3 civilians, pick up their money, and that would pay your rent. Or like rob a convenience store and that would pay your rent, you know? But like
I
nowadays it's like 10K or like 40K, you know, for all the businesses total.
See, I did like, whenever I was playing GTA, and like I kind of went through, and I tried my best to do like lots of different activities before I kind of just settled into heist over and over,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And like it was really some of the activities were really fun, like going for all the convenience stores, just robbing every single convenience store in like one one day type of thing, or like some of the businesses like were pretty fun, like doing like the car business was pretty fun, like the first couple times.
Yeah, but then it becomes super fucking repetitive over and over and over and over and over. And
Nah, nah. Then you innovate. That's whenever I bought a cargo bob, and then the game changed.
yeah, sure.
The
Sure,
cargo
buddy.
bob innovated. Like you don't understand. The cargo bob strat was where it was at.
Nah, GTA Online was fun when it was just like you dick around in a fucking server, steal cars, rob convenience stores, do fucking fun missions, you know, like Top Fun. Do you remember Top Fun? You know, racing,
Well,
fucking
okay, yeah, I did play a lot of like the custom missions. I remember we did like the Tron one a whole bunch. We did like the what is it, tanks versus hydras or whatever.
yeah, Tank versus Hydras was awesome.
There was like the
Uh
one where it's like the guys on the platform and you have to kind of like run into them and they had like rocket launchers trying to shoot your car.
yeah, like
It was-
that was more, that was a little bit later on in the lifespan of the game, but like early, really beginning type shit. You know, back when like KYR Speedy and Vanos were making games, like, or were making like videos on it, and it was just like people dicking around, you know, playing
Mhm.
fucking darts, fucking arm wrestling, all this like super early shit, right? You know, the
Oh
vibes were
yeah.
so different.
I remember like whenever I like again like there was a point where I would like do like the activities like that. Like I'd play darts, I played golf, I did like all those little challenges, all those little like fun little side things. And they have like so many things in GTA for you to do. It just sucks that like there's not a lot of incentive anymore. So
No, of course not, because they've added so much inflation to get people to buy shark cards. That it's fucking corporate greed ruining the fucking gaming sphere.
the shark
Example
cards
number
aren't even worth it though. You do one heist, you get as much as like a $30 shark card. It's like what's the point of buying shark cards?
apparently it's fucking successful because they made so much money off shark cards in GTA that they ruined Red Dead Online to make that into a microtransaction in fucking Hellscape too. And thankfully it didn't work as much there, but fucking
I think
yeah,
that because like GTA is kind of set in like a city and they can kind of get away with like these futuristic vehicles and stuff. It's a little bit harder to like what do they really have in Red Dead? I didn't play it nearly as much, but they can't have anything nearly as like
horse,
game
gun.
breaking. Exactly. It's like, oh
That's
man,
it.
you get the super horse. It's like, you know what I mean? I feel like the opportunities are a little bit less.
Yeah, they. That's one of the reasons why it failed. Also, we're just sick of Rockstar's shit. I'm fucking sick of Rockstar's shit. You know what I mean? They've ruined GTA. They've ruined GTA. Uh Doomsday Heist was one of the big things where it got fucked up, but it that was just like one of the points when it just started, getting bad. It's not There's not one thing that they can fix to make GTA Online good again. There's that It's just so many things. It's so many different issues. They keep beating this dead horse. And I don't know which specific kick was the one that killed it, but it's been dead for a while and they keep kicking. So until GTA 6 comes out, GTA 5 fucking sucks. And it's sad that GTA 5 fucking sucks because GTA 5 was a fucking awesome game. And, I'll say I'm forever grateful to the original developer teams or the very early ones who worked really hard on GTA Online to make it a fun experience. The vibes were immaculate back in the day. So many fun memories, and like the YouTube videos that people have made in like GTA 5 have like immortalized it. All those old Vanos videos, all those old KYR Speedy videos, all of just like enjoying having fun with this game, and I'm forever grateful that they gave us that. But by expanding it, they've done the same thing that Minecraft did and Terraria did and a lot of these games do, where the devs keep adding shit and keep adding shit and keep adding shit, and they don't know when to stop. And
Well, I feel like for some games, like it's not as bad as others, and I feel like with a game like GTA, it definitely like because it's like an online game, and like
mm-hmm,
how you were saying before, like the inflation and all that,
mm-hmm,
it does kind of like make certain things like not worth it at some point. And I guess you could say that with like other games as well. Like you said, like Minecraft and Terraria. I'm sure like at one point or another, Minecraft or Terraria have added something where it kind of makes no sense to go for it anymore because you could have this other new shinier thing instead, right?
yeah,
And that is a tough
Minecraft.
thing with balancing and adding stuff constantly and constantly and constantly.
Yeah, and it just fucks up the vibe sometimes. I'll tell you. I am so sad for you that you cannot play. You missed out on the entire experience of GTA Online around like 20, like right before the next gen version came out. That was immaculate. 360 GTA Online was perfect. Oh my god. It was incredible. It was incredible. I I genuinely can't believe that it was that good. Like, the Valentine's Day update, right? The business update, the high life update, the hipster update, um Independence Day, uh the the flight school, the the Christmas one in 2014. Um that's when it was really good. And then Heists update was awesome, you know and then we were, it was amazing. It was like one of the last ones uh uh that we got on 360. And then, once they started only going out on the next gen, it was really sad. But
You know what I think that they should have done, not only for like GTA but also for Red Dead 2, is they should have had more like single player stuff as well. Because I felt like I really enjoyed the single player a lot, but it did feel like because there was so much focus on the online that like once you did the single player experience, there wasn't really anything left, you know. And I know that Red Dead 1 did have the one DLC they did. So they've done it in
Undead
the
Nightmare,
past.
yeah,
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 like
but it doesn't make any money. It doesn't make them any money.
no.
Shark cards makes them so much more money. That's why they didn't do any single player DLC. They had it planned. They had a lot of stuff done, concepts. They'd coded some parts of it, but like fucking none of it came out because once they released GTA Online, they were like, "Oh yeah, here's shark cards you can buy in-game cash." And like you said, people like for most people just do a heist. It gives you about $30 worth. If you do it, if you spend like an hour doing a heist, you've earned like $30 worth of GTA cash. But like there's whales, and the whales make them a lot of money. It's the people who just have to have the newest shit, you know what I mean? So it's so obnoxious. It's so obnoxious to see what they turned GTA into. It was so pure, and I wish there was a way to go back to that vibe, but like there isn't one now. The vibe is gone, and I think even if you could run like GTA Online servers where it was just how it was back in 2013, 2014, like even then I don't think the vibe would fit. I think you'd just be there, and like the the game has changed so much that it has changed the players. So I don't think that like
It's interesting that you say that, right? Because like Overwatch recently did something very similar, where they had a classic Overwatch mode they added into the game, and it pretty much took out all the new characters. It took out all the new abilities. It reverted everything back to day one launch 2016 Overwatch, right? And like a lot of people really enjoyed like kind of like the nostalgia of it, but kind of like what you were saying, because people have changed so much over the years, and like the kind of experience has changed so much over the years, people kind of they didn't like it as much as they thought they would.
and they're not like, yeah, but they're not playing the same. um
It's also not exactly 100% exact,
yeah.
because you can't take yourself back to that time, because not all of us are back in school or back where we used to be, and I feel like that kind of contributes to the experience a little bit as well,
Oh,
right?
100%. A lot of my feelings about GTA Online are nostalgia goggles, but I mean my point still stands. I think a lot of people would say, like, even without the benefit of nostalgia, it was less repetitive, you know like, yeah, mostly you were doing rooftop rumble for money over and over and over,
Yeah, you
but
see, it's like things like that where you kind of see the perspective of like where the problems were and like how they tried to fix certain problems, but they also did take away like a lot of the personality of it.
but the inflation has made it super super bad, right? Like the Bugatti used to be the most expensive car, and it was like the best car, and now it's like barely anything. It's basically a shitty car. I don't even know if it's still in the game. They took out a lot of the old cars. That's
I know
that's
that the most expensive car that I remember last time I played was the next gen car that had like a really good traction and would like go super super fast. But I don't even know if you're on the next gen version, so I don't even know if you have access to that car.
No, I didn't. I would never buy that game again. I've bought it twice. I would never buy it a third time because they instead of so on the jump from 360 to Xbox One or PS3 to PS4, if you're, you know, lame, um you there wasn't really like a loss, right? Like people on 360, I still played 360 after, I had an Xbox One. I was having some issues with it, I will admit. I couldn't get the sound to work on my Xbox One, but like I would still play on my 360. I would still do heists, still fucking have fun. They stopped releasing like new content for it, but like they made the next gen one better than the 360 one without taking anything away from 360. Um But the way that they've done it now with Xbox One to Xbox Series S and PS4 to PS5 is they've made the Xbox One version, the PS4 version run super shitty. Like your render distance is terrible, your draw distance is terrible, and there's no reason for it. It doesn't perform that bad on 360. There's no reason for it. But they're doing it with forced obsolescence because Rockstar used to be a good company and now they're not. It's I've talked about this before. Steve Jobs gave a talk about this where he said, the people who start a company know about the product. They care about the product. They care about the consumers. They want to give the best product out to the consumers, and they want to win through being the best in the competition. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
You with me so far? And
yeah.
then as they start making money, as they start expanding, they need people who can handle money, right? And then those people start getting higher and higher on the corporate ladder. And as those people who aren't as connected to the product start getting higher on the corporate ladder, they lose that original vision and they start becoming uh, less passionate about the product and more passionate about the money. And so you go from this really fun, really great experience where, it had a lot of bumps. It was certainly very glitchy. There were hackers, there were modders, there were bugs in the game, there were glitches in the game. Some things weren't designed super well, but it was this really fun 16 player madness where people could just hang out with their friends and have a good time. Um, to this chore because shark cards turned out to be one of the most lucrative things, and GTA was one of the most successful games ever. It's like Minecraft, GTA 5, and like whatever number 3 is like way below. It is so successful. So many people have played GTA Online. I would say more people have played GTA Online than actually like played the story all the way through. Definitely more than people who have played the story all the way through. I would say people didn't even get to play as Michael in the present uh, as much as they played GTA Online. And so they can hawk these shark cards to them and be like, "Hey, buy this." You can get, all those like high ranked players. They're driving around in their supercars. They've got all the weapons. They're kicking your ass. Don't you want to spend a little money and beat them? And it essentially, it became pay to win because they added all these DLC weapons that were super expensive, but they were like the equivalent of the weapons that you needed to rank up for originally. And it's just like when you get to that point, you've lost something. And I think that it's a perfect example of what happens at every company. Ironically, once Steve Jobs died, Apple turned into that. Apple stopped caring about releasing, unique products and trying to like innovate. Now, fucking all smartphones are the same. All smartwatches are the same. You're generally, I joke about um, Samsung people being poor, but like generally there's barely any difference. You know, you get some people who do like the foldable phones, but those people are retarded and you don't need to listen to them because that's such a fucking stupid idea. Um, but like, yeah, there is no innovation anymore, and it sucks because people put profits before products, and that's where we're at. Activision, Blizzard. Um,
And I think I agree with you, and I think that there are a lot of people that have kind of like started realizing that the AAA companies have become more unreliable, and that they're getting they're getting screwed over quite a lot,
mhm,
which is why like I feel like in a lot of in recent years there's so many like hit indie games that are just becoming so popular because you think like like the game Lethal Company, right?
mhm,
That was like one guy that made it, and that the game was like probably one of the biggest games of like the entire year. You know,
Oh
beating out
yeah,
AAA titles, right?
yeah.
So people are definitely coming around a little bit to quality more so than just like a big giant name behind a product. You know what I mean?
Another great example of this is Palworld versus Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Hmm.
Holy shit. Like I didn't even I haven't played either one, but like look at how people are talking about Palworld versus how they're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Well, it's because like I feel like indie developers they're more because it's not as much of a money thing for them. They're a lot more willing to take risks and to do things that are a little bit like not very like safe for bigger companies to do, right?
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose,
Exactly.
everything to gain.
And like Pokemon fans have been wanting like a mix up to like the traditional Pokemon formula forever, but Nintendo's too like stuck in their ways to ever innovate, right?
Oh yeah, 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 exactly.
You know, so the first time somebody like really does something different and like revolutionary, like everybody loves it. Everybody, you know, and I feel like Nintendo could have done something like that, but again, big company doesn't want to ruin their reputation or ruin their brand or whatever, right? Right?
And
And
it's just laziness, you know? Like
that too. I do feel like Nintendo has kind of been coasting for a long, long time. You know, like their games have been behind in like graphical quality for
uh
forever, and a lot of their games feel like they're just like copy pasted versions of each other. Like every Pokemon game kind of feels the same a little bit. Like every Mario game for the most part, like a lot of them feel the same. There's a couple innovations like for Pokemon, you know, like literally Tears of the Kingdom, even though I heard it was a really good game, it's kind of just a copy paste of Breath of the Wild, you know, but with a few more things, right?
yeah, exactly. And God of War Ragnarok was kind of like that with God of War 4, you know. It's we're seeing the business side of gaming in action. You know, you get people who uh they will release something relatively innovative. You know, God of War 4, well, I'm God of War 4 is basically just fucking Dark Souls God of War, so it's not that much. But like, you know, it came out, it was a success, people liked it. Boom, let's make the exact same thing. Money please. Spider-Man Insomniac, right? Fucking fresh. New take on Spider-Man. We hadn't had a good Spider-Man game in a long time. You know, the Amazing Spider-Man games were really subpar. You know, Edge of Time, Web of Shadows were okay, but you know they were a long time ago. Um, and then you know they come out with this new thing, right? You know it's sort of based on the Arkham formula, but like it's got its own spin, right? And then they were
Mhm.
like, all right, let's make it again twice. Give me money, please. And it's just like there's not a lot of like innovation. Start fucking I'll shit on a game I actually like here. Um, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you know, took like the Jedi Knight series or the Force Unleashed series, combined it with Souls like mechanics. You know, put it out there. It was really fresh. We had a really nice story to go with it, and then Jedi Survivors, basically the same exact thing, gameplay wise. Not really that many changes, just like expanding on what was already there. Not a whole lot of like super innovative stuff. Not that many changes to the original formula. Again, money please, you know.
There is something to say that like consumers kind of almost want the same thing sometimes. Like cuz Ragnarok did really well. A
Uh-huh.
lot of like Tears of the Kingdom did really well. And I don't know if it's just that people really do kind of want the same thing or if they're just kind of so used to getting the same thing that they're just conditioned to kind of like accept it, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Because it does these things that you're saying like, you know, and that we're saying like are copies or like uninnovative are really popular, right? So who's to say that the consumers, you know, either wanted it or they're kind of like so used to getting it that they're just like willing to take it, right?
mhm. I yeah, it's definitely just I don't know. I think a big problem is people do not know what they want. Like if you ask the majority of people, they do not know what they want, and that is a really big issue. It is, yeah. It sucks. Like people, yeah. I don't know. People are the worst. People are just the worst. Consumers suck, and sometimes they don't know what they want. Like they'll be like, give me something new and different. And then you give them something new and different. And they're like, I hate it. I want to go back to the old thing. And then you go back to the old thing. And they're like, it's too derivative. Do something new. And it's like, what the fuck do you want? And it's
Yeah,
impossible to please.
have you heard of like the Spotify thing where Spotify gave the people what they wanted? They wanted like a randomized like way to shuffle their music, right? But because it was a completely randomized, like algorithm or whatever, sometimes, it would give you very similar music, right? Like next to each other. Because that's how randomness works. Sometimes that happens.
Oh, are you
And
talking about the
people,
like the I think this was Apple actually. I think this was Apple.
well, I think this also happens to Spotify if we're talking about
It's
the same thing.
Did Spotify really just fuck up the same thing that Apple Music figured out literally 20 years ago?
Well,
Because
I
if
don't
so,
know
that's
when this
funny.
happened to Spotify. I don't know when this story is from. I just heard it, but pretty much it was, yeah, like they did a completely random system, right? So it would completely randomize music. People were like, it doesn't feel random enough,
Yeah.
right? They got what they wanted, but they weren't happy still. So
Did you
Spotify
get
had
this
to like,
from Vsauce?
I heard it somewhere. I'm not really sure. It was a while
Yeah.
ago.
This You're talking about Apple Music. I don't think Spotify made this exact same mistake. If they did, I'm never buying well, I already wasn't buying a Spotify membership, but I'm never buying a fucking Spotify membership and I'm never listening to anything on there because Apple Music figured this out 20 years ago. They had the exact same issue. Uh Shuffle didn't feel random enough, so they had to create an algorithm that made it less random to feel more random.
Exactly. That's exactly kind of like, yeah, what I'm saying, right? Where consumers wanted something, but they weren't happy, so we kind of had to give them what they thought, what they
Yes.
what they really wanted, right? Because they didn't know
That's
what they really
marketing.
wanted.
That's marketing 101 is fucking you give them something that they you don't give them what they think they want. You have to give them what they actually want. And
Hmm.
so you have to really cut through the bullshit and really like understand okay, but if they get this they're not going to be happy about it. And like as much as they insist that they want it, they really don't. Um I'll say a big thing about like one of the big things about this, and we do have to go to the big red button here in a bit. But I will say one of the main things about this is uh, in in the Star Wars community, everyone wants like or a lot of the fan base is like, oh, we want a cool, edgy Darth Vader show where he kills Jedi and stuff like that. It would be so cool. Darth Vader kill everybody. Meh, 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 meh. That would be the most boring shit ever. And I'm so glad that Disney doesn't fucking give us that because it would be so boring. And the more and like they've done stuff with Darth Vader, where he is edgy and badass, but they also have like quiet, contemplative, character-based moments, right? Or for example, right? They were like, "Oh, we want a Kenobi show where he fights Darth Vader," you know, and then they made that, and then they were like, "No, this sucks. We don't like it." And so you really have to not listen to the consumer. You have to give them something that they don't know they want, and that's hard. But you can anyone who says the consumer is always right in matters of taste is wrong. They don't know what they like. So you have to give it to them without asking them. And that's the bitch part of marketing. And that's why, people go to school for years to learn it. And even then it's not an exact science. But anywho, I think it's time for a big red button. Do you have any extra points while I go come up with one? Come up with one.
No, like I agree with what you were saying about the whole like Darth Vader show and all that, right? And I feel like just having a show where is Darth Vader going around killing people, not a very interesting premise, right? But there have been kind of like shows that have turned like an uninteresting premise and kind of like done something a little bit different to make it interesting, right? Like an example that I can think of is like One Punch Man, right? You can think of a character that can defeat any enemy in one punch. That doesn't really, there's not really a lot of like, push and pull there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's ways like One Punch Man was able to do it where they kind of like made it more like half comedy, making it more
Like
like
a
has like a
character piece. Yeah. Yeah.
mentor,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's more about the character. There's ways to do it. Now, I don't really know enough about the Star Wars universe to like kind of like propose how they would do that with Darth Vader, but there are ways to do it. It's just it's not exactly what I think they would have wanted. Like the people that are asking for it, you know?
I mean, I will say another big thing is in Star Wars, there's actually a character who kind of whoops Darth Vader's ass in the old continuity, and people want to bring him into the new continuity, and it's just like, why? Why? He's so OP. He's so much fucking wish fulfillment. It breaks the fucking stakes. It would ruin it. And so, again, if we brought that in, people would hate it. And so you have, like, as much as people ask for it, and as much as you want to be like, all right, fine, here, take it. Won't it? Here, it sucks. This is what you like, and it sucks. As much as you want to spite them for it, you can't do that because then you're wasting all that money on a shitty idea. And speaking of shitty, uh, Big Red Button,
Mhm.
any public restroom you use is super clean, fully stocked, like Bucky's quality, right?
Mhm.
But there's always somebody next to you tearing it up. Do you press that button?
Um is it more of like a sound thing or is it also like a smell thing, right? Cuz I feel like if it's just a
Both.
sound thing, oof, the smell I feel like would give me more than the sound, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also like I don't feel like restrooms are like understocked most of the time. They usually have like exactly what I need, you
So I
know.
mean, yeah, but the one time that you need toilet paper and they don't have any, you're gonna be fucking wishing they did.
Oh, see that's the mistake a lot of people make. You gotta check before you choose that restroom, right? Choose that stall, whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah,
A
but
lot
some
of a lot of
it's an
people.
emergency. I like, all right, if you're in a position where you get to choose the stall based on how stocked it is, you don't need to use the restroom that bad. If I'm going to use a public restroom, I don't have time to fucking pick that out. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like I've gotten so used to just dealing with public restrooms. I don't stress about it as much as like it seems like you do and a lot of people do. You know, I'll check if because this is an important thing that's happening, right? Because if you're at home, right, usually you always kind of have like a backup plan. Like there's like toilet paper in the drawer or in the shelf, right, or in the
yeah.
cabinet, right. But like if you get stuck in like a public restroom without toilet paper, you're kind of just screwed, right? You don't got the same like luxury as if you're at home, right? So at home, I get it. Maybe you don't check every time, to see if your roommate, used the last bit of toilet paper, right? Because worst case scenario, there's a cabinet next to you, right? Where there's like
Mhm.
a roll of toilet paper like on a stand beside the toilet. But if you're in a public restroom, you gotta check. You gotta check. I don't care how badly you need to use the restroom. You gotta check.
I think if the choice is between shitting my pants and fucking uh making sure I get the fucking best stall,
You're waiting too long. You're waiting too long. You gotta go a little sooner than that.
if I could plan that fucking far in advance, it wouldn't be a problem.
You know when you need to use the restroom, and you purposely wait until the last moment. That seems like a you problem at that point.
It's not like that. It's
If
not
you
like
if
that.
you
It's
if you
different.
if you know you have time and you choose to wait till the last moment, then you have to accept the consequences of your actions. I don't think I do take this button because I don't think the extra like amenities are worth you know just that unpleasant experience every time I go to the restroom.
But everything else about the experiments is perfect. Everything else about it is absolutely fine, except for
No,
that.
no, no, no. I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like my stall um being clean is good. I like that a lot. I think that buys a lot of good grace here. Like it's better the next stall smelling bad than me.
Well, like again, like most of the time, with the exception of like the absolute worst stalls, most public stalls are like not the worst condition. They're like acceptable condition. You know what I mean? They may not be the best condition, but they're acceptable.
But when you get like a gas station bathrooms count. So even like the single ones count. So you're
Well, let's stop at
getting
a nicer gas station. Stop at like a
not all
Stripe,
of
you
us have
know?
Buckies.
Huh?
Not all of us have Buckies.
Well, we have a whole bunch of them, and they're really nice.
Well, we don't. And
Let
you're
me
not going to be
tell
in
you,
Texas forever, I hope.
you close those doors, you feel like you got like a whole private room. You know what I mean, right? Like the doors go, like the stalls go all the way to the ground, right? So you're like
Yeah,
in your own little private area.
but unfortunately, you're not always at a Bucky's. You
It is
know,
unfortunate.
and again, I think, you know, I think it's better. It's better to fucking, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I'm taking this button though.
I don't think it's worth it for me. I think like I do my little restroom ritual. Like I check to see which stall is in decent enough condition, and then we wipe the seat, put the paper down, and then we're fine. We're doing good. You know what I mean?
I think you don't. Do you just not get like stomach shit in public? Because sometimes you just got to, you know. Sometimes shit
Well, like
happens and you
I feel
can't
like
plan for it.
everybody, I feel like everybody kind of gets like like bad stomach problems every now and then, right? And I've not been in the situation too many times to where like it's been that much of a rush. Maybe like once, like every now and then, right? Not super often, but I feel like 99% of the time we got the time to do everything we need to do.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm taking it because it works on the single restrooms too. Every restroom, everyone. This is such a big benefit here. This is
No,
so
no.
hype. You're
But
just not seeing it.
if it's a single restrooms, you gotta accept the guy next to you. You know what I mean? I don't know where he's gonna be, but he's gonna be
He's just
there.
shitting on the floor. He's just shitting on the floor.
Exactly. And like and
Okay,
if and is it
in that instance, no. In that instance, no. I'm not pressing it. But
no, no, I'm saying you gotta accept it in at least any public restroom, right? Any public restroom
if
or
there
any
is,
restroom.
if there's a stall, if there like all right, all single use bathrooms are included. Any restroom that's not in your house is included. But anytime there is like a multiple stall situation, there's somebody next to you, fucking destroying that thing.
No, I think it should work for single stalls as well. I feel like you need to have the downside if you're gonna have the upside all the time. You know what I mean?
No, you do get the fucking upside. Most restrooms in public are multiple stall situations.
I think you don't get the upside unless you get the downside. That's what I think. I think that
No.
it only works in multi-stall restaurants.
Okay. Counterpoint. Let me sweeten the deal here. You get to use the handicap stall every time.
Like, how many restrooms have a handicap stall? I feel like I don't see
Most of
handicap
them,
stalls.
it's an OSHA thing, so I think at least most of them do.
I don't notice handicap stalls nearly as often as you do.
I think it's because growing up at my elementary school, I would always use that one because we didn't have any handicap kids. So like we didn't have to worry about
Wow,
that.
that's
There weren't no kids in
wild.
any fucking wheelchairs. I don't
No, no,
know.
no. That's wild. That you just thought it was your personal private stall.
It wasn't my personal private stall, but fucking if I had to do my business and I
The
didn't.
one day that the wheelchair kid comes to school, and look at you.
When? Where? We never had any. There were none. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we ever had any kids in wheelchairs in my entire growing up thing. We've I've had some in my college classes, but never any back then. Yeah, no. I So yeah, no, the handicap stall was it was open for use. It had its own sink and everything. You know, I would use it, and I don't feel a lick of shame about it.
You should.
I don't, and I
You
never
should.
will. You'll never convince me to.
You should. You should have a lot of shame.
You will never convince me to feel a mite, a whit of
You're what's wrong
shame.
with America.
I don't think that's true. I don't
I
think that's true at all.
I think America would be better without people taking the handicap stalls that don't deserve it.
I'll shoot myself in the foot just to take it. It's okay.
All right, until you do it though, I won't believe you.
Well, I don't use the handicap stall now.
Okay. All right. Just don't like anybody who knows Kale in real life, better not catch him, Oof.
I don't use it now unless it's like the only one open.
Like, will you on air say that somebody is legally allowed to shoot you in the foot if they catch you in the handicap stall?
If it is the only one open, I will use it, but I almost never am in a situation where it's the only one open.
No, I just want to know if like you give permission to our listeners here and to me
Do
to shoot
that
you
do
in the foot.
All right, do I get the added benefit if when I enter the restroom, both the other stalls are taken?
Um, what do you mean? Like,
I enter the restroom. Say there are three stalls. There are two normal ones and one handicap one, right? Uh, the two normal ones are taken. I gotta go. I go in the handicap stall. I think that's okay.
no, I think you just find another restroom where you wait. Because somebody might need that handicap stall.
Well, they should have thought about that. They should have fucking picked better on their character
I can't
creations
wait
tree.
until the day that somebody in a wheelchair comes into the restroom, and you have to walk out of that stall and look them in the eye, and then
I
feel like
won't.
a terrible
I won't
person.
have any fucking shame. I won't have any fucking because I don't use it unless there's a fucking reason, and that reason is there's no room in the other ones.
Well, unless the reason is that you're handicapped, I don't think it's a good enough reason.
You're mentally handicapped. You're one to talk. Fuck you. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. All right. Just a reminder, everyone, patreon.com/IIHS podcast. You get a cool shout out at the end of every episode. If you join our $3 tier, you get to listen to part one. So up to the ad break of every episode early and ad free. Literally put that out as we were recording part two. So, hell yeah. It's out early, Sunday night instead of Tuesday morning. That's 36 hours, Oh, more than 36 hours actually. So yeah, you could be listening to us way earlier. You could be listening to us on Monday. Um, if you join our $5 tier, you can listen to the whole episode early without ads, and you get access to all of our super cool movie commentaries, which, like I said, are my favorite parts of this show. They're so fun. Oh my god. You get to listen to those. The one we did with Scott. Again, rest in peace. That one was really fun. Um, Die Hard, which you slept through somehow. So you get to listen to me bully
I
Danny for sleeping.
it was a very cozy bed that I was in while I was watching it.
You made your bed, now you're gonna lie in it. Fuck you. Um.
And I watched the Family Guy scene, so I know what happens in it.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Do you see what I have
Mm.
to deal with, chat? Do you see what I have to deal with? But yeah. Yeah. So definitely that'll sweeten the deal for you. Um. But other than that, we are also IIHS podcast on social media. We are on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. We're IIHS podcast or at IIHS podcast on all of those. So go check us out. Q&A, topic update or topic suggestions, general updates. Best place to go for it. So yeah, definitely go check us out. Other than that, my name is Kael. I've been incredibly influential.
And my name's Danny, and I've been highly successful.
We will talk to you guys next week. Have a very happy Thanksgiving.